Hi all and welcome again. This week I said I was going to tell you how my first treatment went. Well, I went for my first treatment yesterday and I must say it went exceptionally well. I did have a little bit of a setback or a potential setback in that my liver function test was slightly high. So they called me in for an extra blood test yesterday before my treatment, and lucky enough my liver function test had returned to normal, and they think that was as a result of me having COVID last week. So I went for my treatment. I went upstairs in the Glenclwyd Hospital in the cancer unit, and I must say it was a lovely place, really comfortable chairs. They give you drinks, they attended basically to your every need and made you lovely and comfortable. And the first thing that happened to me, I'm going to have to refer to my sheet because there's that many drugs they give you. They give me 20 dexamethasone tablets, which is steroids. Now, last week I took 5 of them and I was hoovering around the house for hours afterwards, quite frankly. They do give you a boost of energy. And I was told to expect some insomnia last night after taking 20 of them. Okay, last night, so let's just move on to that first. And last night, I tell you what, no, let's finish the treatment first and we'll move on to last night. So I took the 20 dexamethasone, and just to reiterate on dexamethasone, what does it do? It mimics the action of a naturally occurring hormone produced in the body. It is effective at killing myeloma cells and can make other anti-myeloma drugs work better, so it enhances the other drugs. Dexamethasone can also prevent inflammation, which can help to reduce pain associated with myeloma bone disease. So it seems like it's a good drug. After somebody who took years and years probably to take a paracetamol, it's strange me taking 40 odd tablets a day, 40 odd tablets yesterday, not every day, thanks. Had to wait after taking the dexamethasone. I had to wait an hour before I could have an injection, and the injection I had was, let me find it now, it was this one, I'll try to pronounce it right, it was Bortezuma was the injection I had, and here again, so I had the dexamethasone, the steroids, and then I had this Bortezuma, and this was just a small injection in the stomach. I didn't feel a thing, quite frankly, and it says Bortezuma works by blocking the actions of proteasomes. Proteasomes are large molecules found in the cells of the body, and they are involved in the breakdown of damaged or unwanted proteins. Bortezuma temporarily blocks their function, stopping them from breaking down unwanted proteins. This causes proteins to build up to toxic levels, killing the cells. Myeloma cells rely more heavily on proteasomes as they produce more proteins than normal healthy cells. They are therefore much more sensitive to bortezuma. So that's what that does. So I had them yesterday. I did have some other medication yesterday as well. I'll just read these because it might be of interest to you. But they give me also another chemotherapy drug called lenalidomide, which I mentioned last time, so I won't repeat myself. They give me some more chemotherapy drugs called cyclophosphamide. I had them yesterday. And then they give me other drugs, allopurinol, which is to prevent side effects of chemotherapy, omeprazole. I'm not too sure how you pronounce that one. In Liverpool, we say omeprazole, but they say omeprazole, I think, and that's to protect the stomach from acid reflux as a result of the other drugs. Acyclovir, that's to prevent mouth ulcers and shingles, and then you've got something called fluconazole, that's to prevent fungal infections. Apaxaban, that's to prevent blood clots. And then there's some anti-sickness tablets that you take. And cotrimoxazole. That's to prevent infections. So yesterday, once a week, I have to go to the hospital, and I take quite a lot of drugs, chemo drugs, targeting drugs, drugs that will support enhance the effect, they enhance the efficacy of other drugs. Did I have any side effects? Not really, no. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel I didn't feel unwell. I didn't feel dizzy. Nothing like that. But I was told as a result of the dexamethasone to expect some insomnia. Now, around about 9 o'clock last night, I was feeling really tired. So I went to bed, probably slept for about 3 hours, which I was quite happy with considering what I'd taken. I woke up around about 2 o'clock in the morning, so maybe a bit later I went to bed. And I felt really good, didn't feel sick, but I was awake, but I was still quite tranquil, quite chilled out. So I stayed in bed, that beautiful peace that time in the morning, and I done some meditation, I done some healing, self-hypnosis, if you like, some spiritual sort of meditation. These things I've practiced for many years, and for me personally, they really helped me. So I spent 2 hours off and on in bed, determined not to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in that beautiful tranquility, that peace that seems to descend that time in the morning. And then at 4 o'clock, I always know, I've always advised people in the past that suffer from insomnia, if they can, if they can't sleep, get up and do something useful. So quite frankly, I got up, I made some tea and whatever, and then I started some work I had to do on my computer. Um, Went through today. I had a dental appointment because I'm taking a drug called Zometa, which can affect your jaws, and you can't have any dental treatment for 3 months while I'm having it. So I had to go and get a checkup with the dentist this afternoon. They said my teeth are fine, basically. I don't need anything doing. So I can take the drug Zometa, which is used for lowering calcium levels in my blood. Okay. So no, the only side effects I had were insomnia. I went and had an hour's sleep this afternoon because I had very little sleep, 3 hours last night. I had an hour this afternoon, and quite frankly, I've not long got up, and I feel really good within myself. I feel I'm not hyper because of because of the steroids. I feel very very. I think the word's homeostasis when you feel balanced basically. So I feel really good today, and so I wanted to share that with you because 2 weeks ago when I was told, after feeling tired that I had myeloma, multiple myeloma cancer, it takes you back a little, to say the least. Is this a death sentence? Which I'm absolutely certain it isn't now. Is it going to involve an investment on my side to deal with it? Yes, I'm sure it is. And I think it may be at times. We were talking in the hospital last week on the cancer ward when I was an inpatient. It's a bit like them games, I forget what they call now, where the heads pop up and you have to keep banging it down. And I suppose it's going to be a little bit like that. But I've been very, very lucky to get on this radar trial. Um, and I will have the transplants, the stem cell, say it right this time, transplant next year. Apparently, what happens, I will have 12 weeks induction therapy now. I've told you all this, so I won't reiterate. Then I have a break for about 8 weeks, and then I'll go in and have the aggressive chemo in hospital in Christie's. And after that, I will have the stem cell transplant. And then we'll see how we go. But I'm going to document this every week. And I'm going to keep you up to date. And so far, fingers crossed, so good. One thing I did do today, I was told by the nurses yesterday that I need a thermometer. So I've got a good thermometer. Them ones that you point at your head, I find, are really not accurate at all. So I've got one that goes in the ear. And my temperature goes to 37.5, and I'm do it again half an hour later and it's the same. I've got to get in touch with the hospital. If it's 38, I've got to get in touch with them right away because they say this can be signs of sepsis, which is life-threatening. So it needs to be treated right away. But you have emergency numbers. I've got a card which is in my wallet, which I'll show you next time, which gives me basically fast track into the hospital to be treated. So what I've done today, I'm quite organised in a lot of ways, too organised in some ways. But what I've done today is I've packed the bag ready. And even if I don't need it for another year's time, hopefully I won't, it's there. If I need to go into hospital, I can grab that bag and I can get in my car and go straight up there, or jump in a cab and go straight up there. So I'm making them preparations. What else am I doing for myself? That's my first treatment. I feel great after my first treatment. No side effects except a bit of insomnia last night. What else am I doing to help myself? Again, walking. I walked 5 miles the other day at Llandudno front. It was beautiful. I enjoy that. Swimming. Going in the sauna. One of my favourites in the spa is the steam room, but I believe that can breed sort of infections and whatever, especially fungal infections. So I'm not going in there. The saunas are much safer, better. It's good for your bones. So I'm doing sauna, swimming, walking. Eating, okay, I have a balanced diet in a sense, but I'm apt to eat a lot of rubbish in the night time when I'm watching the telly. Still am in a sense. But what I have been doing is cooking nice meals. My mum and my sister, quite kindly, when I was in hospital, done some pre-packed cooking. So they cooked and they froze it for me, which was some nice meals there. Stew and a sausage casserole and so on, or scouse as we call it in Liverpool. And I've been cooking myself some fresh vegetables, some meat, some potatoes. I make 2 meals at a time because I'm on my own. I've been having that, and I've been having a beautiful salad like tuna, fresh lettuce, tomatoes at lunchtime. So I want to give myself every chance I've got. So I take this serious. And I must say, I'm enjoying the challenge at the moment. It's not as though for me, life's gone from a fantastic life, which I live every day. I really do. Very nomadic, travel everywhere, to none, and all I'm thinking about is this big black cloud over my head. Not whatsoever. I know the importance of thought, being a therapist and training therapists. And if you can keep your mind on an even keel, if you can keep it focused without denying what you've got, like I said before, if you deny what you've got, you repress it and it'll come out as depression. When we repress issues, it's a form of energy. Energy is neither created or destroyed. It has to find expression. And psychologically, repressed energy, which means we push it into our unconscious mind, means that it will manifest in other guises. Depression's the big one. Anxiety, mood swings, addictions, and so on. So acknowledge when you're feeling sad, be sad. Be authentic. There's no way around that. At times, sometimes we have shitty days, and sometimes we have to cry, and sometimes, we will have these down days. I don't have a down day. I might have a down 15 minutes, to be honest. And then I'll feel my emotion. I'll admit my emotion. I'll emote, as we say. It doesn't matter. That's strength. Don't mistake that for a weakness. The inability to cry is not a strength. The inability to cry is a weakness, and it will implode on you. So be authentic. Talk to people about exactly how you are feeling. And that's another thing I find. It seems I've got lovely, lovely relationships in life. I'm not talking about romantic relationships in general with people. And I've really found another level, another depth to them relationships since then. I'm really enjoying talking to people. I want to be more helpful to people. I want to feel needed, I suppose, which is a fundamental need of us all, really. I want to feel useful. I want to have purpose in my life. And this has given me, sounds strange, but this has given me another challenge. My aim is to be the longest living person with myeloma in history. And I'm going to keep it that way. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to finish this this session now. The next session, I'm just going to read some of this booklet because I read it yesterday and it's really helpful about myeloma, an introduction. I'm not going to read too much of it, and I'll show you the card that I've got from the hospital and reiterate how important it is to have a team behind you and to have a plan. Thank you for watching. See you next time.